Cool. So this week is Queen Branding Week inside the Big Creative Fun community. We're super excited to launch a whole week of free workshops to share with you tons of really, really useful and powerful advice for queens who are ready to get their message out there with an authentic online identity. So I'll introduce myself quickly, and then I'll introduce Erica Eaton, who's joining us today. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Sarah Mack. I'm a writer and a mindset coach. I help creatives to have more fun and freedom and money doing the work that they're most passionate about. And I've been in business. I've had my copywriting agency, Juicy Copy, for the last 4 years. I'm a digital nomad. I travel around a lot. And branding has been something that I've, had to learn a lot about for marketing and attracting really incredible dream clients who I love working with, who really resonate with my work and who make my working days so fun. And I was really excited to connect with Erica when I was down in New York this past year, and she's a really incredible brand strategist and website designer. So hi Erica, thanks so much for joining us. Do you want to give us an introduction?
I know, I'm so happy that we're doing this together. So hi everybody, my name is Erica, and yes, so I run Vivere Creative Agency. It is a digital marketing business that I have. I specialize in branding, graphic design, website design, social media marketing and management, anything digital that you could think of. And yeah, I've been actually doing this, on and off for about 10 years now. But I finally, I had a 9-to-5 job, and I finally took this business full time about 1.5 years ago, and left my corporate job. And I've been doing the digital nomad life ever since. And it's been amazing, and it's been taking me all over the world, and it gave me the opportunity to meet with Sarah also, who is absolutely amazing. And we actually work together a little bit on the side aside from this. And yeah, everything, I'm just excited to share my information with you guys and give you guys tips and advice, and really get this week started. Back to you, Sarah.
Thanks, Erica. So today we're going to be diving into some mindset. Tomorrow, Erica's going to be coming back and talking more about, some of the things that you should really be considering when you're building your brand online.
Yes.
And we're going to be coming to you either together or separately throughout this week. So also, we have a very special announcement. We're really excited to be running a competition because we're launching a program together. It's called Brand and Thrive Mastermind, and it's combining all the fundamentals you need to know to get your online identity up and running and consistently attracting dream clients with all of the mindset that you need to not fall into overwhelm, to be consistent, and to really start making an impact and getting your message out there, because we know what you have to offer is so valuable and important. And often we can, be the person that gets in our own way and slows things down and getting out there and getting clients and really making an impact with our work. So to encourage you to really show up for this challenge and make the most of these free workshops that we're doing, we're going to be giving away 2 free spots on our Brand and Thrive Mastermind, which has a value of $900. So in order to qualify for that, these are the competition guidelines, and I'll post this for you as well. Make sure you comment on each one of the 5 workshop videos that we're going to be doing in the Big Creative Fun community each day this week. And make sure you post one post on Instagram tagging both me, which is @with Sarah Mack, and Erica, which is @Erica_Eaton, sharing a breakthrough that you've had in your branding. And then doing the same on Facebook. One post tagging myself and Erica, sharing a breakthrough that you've had from the workshops this week, and you'll be entered into a competition. We're going to give away 2 spots to win the Brand and Thrive Mastermind, which will really help bring you from where you're at to consistently showing up and attracting your people with a really authentic online identity in a way that feels good to you. So we're super excited for that. And Erica she's just come to say hi, and I'm going to take over and go through some mindset stuff with you. So thanks for coming in and saying hi.
Yes. All right. Thank you. And if you guys have questions, please put them in the comments below, and I'll be here to answer them for you guys. All right. Let's get started.
Awesome. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, Erica.
Bye.
Bye. So today we're going to dive into some mindset work, because as you may know by now, if you've been following my work, if your mindset isn't in the right place, nothing's going to work properly. So, and feel free to post any questions. I will check in as we're going along. And if you have any questions when you're watching the replay, please leave them and tag me, and I'll make sure to get back to you on those. So, so the mindset behind your brand, why is this important? Because for you to show up and deliver consistently, create a consistent income, deliver your message with impact, find the people who are going to most resonate with and, you know, be passionate about the work that you're doing, it requires a few things, such as consistency. It requires you being able to tap into your passion. It requires you understanding how to show up authentically. And, you know, talking in your authentic voice and really following your intuition when it comes to strategy and how to reach the people that will most resonate with your work. So, and it, you know, it's so easy to get lost in strategy in the online world. There's so many different strategies. There's so many different social media platforms. And, you know, we're going to go a little bit more into detail. Obviously, there are strategies which are really, really helpful when it comes to practical, you know, understanding and knowledge of platforms and of branding, of visual branding, of copywriting, all of these things that play a part in your marketing. But the most important thing is that you come at it from a place of strength, from a place of, you know, being really tapped into who you are and finding a way that feels good, feels fun, and feels exciting and creatively fulfilling for you. Because if you're trying to fit yourself into a box, follow somebody else's strategy that's not going to work for you, it's going to cause so much stress and overwhelm. It's probably not going to work. It's, you know, your message isn't going to hit home with your audience, and it can feel like it's really ineffective, and there's a lot of time and energy going into not really producing results. So that's the main message that I want you to take away from this session today, is that we want your branding and your marketing to feel really good. That's the most important thing, because when you show up and you're feeling good, when you're creating content from an inspired place rather than a stressed out, oh, I have to do these posts, and that kind of self-imposed feeling of obligation because you're trying to follow somebody else's strategy, that's not the space that creates expansive inspiration, connection, and resonance with your audience. So, you know, obviously consistency is something that's very practical, and it's our mindset that really impacts that. If we are procrastinating, if we're, you know, resisting being visible, there are so many forces at play that will influence our ability to execute effectively when we are getting our online identity out there. So that's what I'm really passionate about supporting you with, is coming at your work and at your online identity and branding from a place of expansive creativity and feeling good and feeling inspired to share your message, because that's what's going to make the most impact. And as we know, whatever it is you have to share, whether you're an artist, whether you're a healer, a coach, some other kind of business, your service is extremely valuable and has the potential to impact people's lives and spread a message that really needs to be heard. So this is really important for you to get right, because your success depends on it and your impact depends on it. So, you know, we really want to stay focused on creating genuine connection from sharing from your heart and really building, you know, creating a strategy that allows you to create from that place. And some of, you know, as women, especially as creatives, there are many blocks and resistances that can come up to stand in our way of doing that, or that can weigh us down throughout the process, because obviously it is a learning curve. Learning how to reach the people who will most resonate with your work. And it doesn't happen completely overnight. However, you can create big wins quickly. So, you know, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling full of fear when it comes to putting yourself out there online, if you're, you know, really resisting doing it and procrastinating on it, if you've had some, you know, some marketing strategies or action steps on your to-do list for a really long time, but you haven't been getting around to them for a really long time, there's normally a very good reason for that. And it's because there is mindset work that needs to be done to move past that fear and resistance. And this, shows up as procrastinating. A really, really common one is having that fear of visibility. Personally, that's something that I went through. It took me 2 years to get the website up for my company, which was insane. And I never knew what a fear of visibility was until a coach told me about it. And, it's really having that fear of putting yourself out there, of being rejected, of, the people in your life and your relationships being, having a reaction, judging you, and that not feeling good, because we have this innate drive to avoid pain, to avoid discomfort, to avoid situations that have maybe not made us feel good in the past. So, being judged for being different and for really coming out and being our unique selves, which maybe we haven't really been doing in our lives up until now. And that's the cool thing about entrepreneurship, is it really is you stepping into your uniqueness that creates the success for you. Because when you really fully claim who you are and you fully express the value that you have to offer authentically, you attract people who really resonate with and value that, which puts you out front of any competition. It makes competition irrelevant, because there are only a certain number of, some people who will only resonate with the message delivered to them by you. As you know, there are tons of people doing a lot of the same work out there, but there are tons of people who also need this work, and we all like to work with people that we resonate with. So it's really, really important that you go through that process of really acknowledging and valuing yourself. And this is the mindset work. And as an entrepreneur, as a creative, somebody who's showing up and acting on inspiration and following our own impulses, creating ideas that maybe haven't been created before, doing things on our own way, it's really, really, really important to have a daily mindset practice to constantly keep those fears in check, because they will always be there and they will always crop up. But it's a case of acknowledging them, that they're there, using specific tools to work through them. So you're not allowing them to create resistance for you around showing up consistently, around sharing your message authentically, and getting over any resistance when it crops up. And sometimes that takes a little bit of digging, which is why I'm such a firm believer in coaching, because a lot of the time we will avoid the blind spots and the uncomfortable truths that we have just been avoiding looking at. But it's actually in looking at those things that gives us the freedom to move past them and to continue taking that action that will really get us results in our business. So one tool that I really want to share with you now that is so helpful in creating breakthroughs for my clients is, if you have resistance around something, whether that's, putting your prices up, or, going and doing a Facebook Live, or making a personal social media post that shares part of your story, because you're afraid that somebody will judge you, or you'll get a comment that won't feel very nice to read. One really, really amazing exercise that you can do around this is to just ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? And allow yourself to play that story out, like really go there, So for me, for example, it was completely subconscious that I was afraid of being visible and getting my website out there. But if I had asked, and this is probably the process that I did go through, well, actually, no, I don't remember. It was kind of a long time ago now. But really just, say, for example, I'm afraid of sharing my story on my website. And if I had asked myself, what is the worst that could happen? I would say, maybe I'm afraid that some of my old friends or family will read it and they think that I've changed, or, that I'm taking a different path, and maybe they will doubt that it will work and they will tell me that, or, maybe they'll accuse me of, I don't know, being not good enough or not serious enough, or I don't know, fill in the blank, whatever you're afraid of being judged, or being too this or too that, and not enough of this and not enough of that. And, what's really the worst thing? What if somebody who I really cared about said something that was hurtful for me? What would happen? And just play that out in your mind. What would they say? And then what would you do in response to that? I would probably, obviously, maybe I would be hurt. Maybe it would feel painful. Maybe I would have a little cry about it. Maybe I would question myself and wonder maybe, if I am really good enough. But then what would happen? I'm committed to my vision. this is a real desire for me. This, you know, this business, this direction, this project, whatever it is important to me. So, you know, will I continue regardless of the judgment? Yeah. Okay. So let's say I would decide not to quit, even though it would be painful. If somebody said something mean to me, I would still carry on. And then what would happen? You know, maybe I would lose some more friends, or, you know, but then what would happen? Maybe I would start to find, you know, new people who really resonated with and really loved the work that I was doing. And then what? Maybe I would start to, you know, find clients that I really love working with, and I'd find so much fulfillment in being able to do that work. I would grow in my mission and my impact, and that would be really fulfilling. And that's why I started it in the first place. So you see what I'm doing here is just going down that rabbit hole of like, really, what's the worst thing that can happen? You know, maybe somebody really important to you stops talking to you for a bit. What is the worst that could happen? You'll continue doing it. They'll probably forget about it. If that relationship's really important to you, I'm sure you can find a way to mend it. And if it's not, I'm sure that will open up the space for many other relationships that are really valuable and supportive of the things that really bring you the most passion and the most joy. So, you know, just going down that story and allowing yourself to go there. What happens if I do a Facebook Live and people laugh at me, or people send me mean messages? You know, will I continue doing it? Will I feel bad? Yes. What will I do if I feel bad? Maybe I'll go and treat myself to some ice cream. Maybe I'll get over it eventually, even though it's going to be painful. It kind of takes the power away from that kind of unacknowledged resistance that's going on in the back of our minds. You know, what if I try something and I fail? You know, will I continue on to the success, even if the failure is really painful? You know, what if I end up not being able to pay my bills that month? You know, well, I'll just work even harder. I'll bring in some income this way. You know, we always find a way to create a solution, especially when it's something that we're passionate about. And in fact, following the thing that we're most passionate about is the most likely path that we'll succeed, and that we will find solutions regardless of the failures. And you know, a lot of these fears can really trigger these deep-seated beliefs that maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I won't succeed. And actually, low confidence is an epidemic among women, especially among creatives. And this is something that we really have to acknowledge, because we have to deal with it head on. We have to recognize that this is what's happening, that we do undercharge, we overwork, we overgive. A lot of the time we're underpaid, and we are responsible for creating those changes. So how do we become confident? We just decide. We decide to act with confidence, even if we don't feel confident. You know, decide, what would I do if I was confident? What would I do if I had faith that I could make this succeed? And taking those actions regardless, showing up, doing that Facebook Live, showing up, sharing your story on a social media post, being vulnerable, being consistent with sharing your blog posts, whatever it is that you've decided to do, what you're intuitively drawn towards, what you're most inspired by as the avenues to share your message. And we're going to go into more about how you create that strategy for yourself later this week. But, you know, it's really about deciding to do it with confidence and just learning as you go along. And the way that you learn, the way that you evolve, the way that you get better is through the failures and through the continuing to try and show up and really hone your ability to share your message and create an impact with your work. And obviously, you know, there are ways that we can set ourselves up for success with this. And, Anastasia has a question. What can be done to move past my procrastination? That's an excellent question, Anastasia. So, you know, if you notice that procrastination is coming up for you, and it happens to all of us, I have been a massive procrastinator and have, you know, it's really been the mindset work that has allowed me to understand how to move past it, and to really, you know, understand the mechanics of what's happening when you're procrastinating. And the tool I like to use for this is what I call power questions. So, you know, just asking yourself, why am I resisting taking this action? You know, why don't I want to do this action? And really journaling it out and just seeing what's coming up for you. And, you know, again, asking that question, like, what is the worst that could happen if I take this action? Maybe there's an underlying fear there. You know, if that would happen, what would that mean? Would it mean that I'm a failure? Would it mean that I'm not good enough? What is it at play that's causing you to procrastinate? Really asking yourself a lot of questions, just really inquiring about the specific task that you're procrastinating on, and going deeper with every level. Just always follow up with another question. Write down your answer, follow up with another question. Because once you really can confront what's going on objectively, that can free up a lot of emotional energy and resistance that is just trying to keep you safe and trying to another really great question is, what are the benefits of not taking this action? What are the benefits of not taking this action? See what comes up. Maybe it's, oh, well, I won't be ridiculed, or I won't be, I won't feel vulnerable. I won't feel like I wasn't good enough. I won't judge myself for what I've just created. Maybe that's a bad habit that we're into. And then, look at the benefits of actually taking the action, and what's at stake by you not taking the action, and really list out, what are the benefits that could come from you taking that action, from you sharing that post. Even if you get no likes, even if you get no shares, maybe one person will read it and you'll never know that they read it, and maybe it created a shift in them, and maybe they'll come back to you and they'll continue to be inspired by you, and that will have made an impact, and that will have had a ripple effect. So really just using that questioning to seeing what's going on. And another great way to get past procrastination is having accountability. So share, if you're a part of any groups, or you have a coach, or you have a friend, or, find an accountability partner and share with them, I'm going to finish the copy for my about page on my website by the end of this week. I'm going to tell you when I've done it, so that they're going to check in on you, so that because the idea of telling somebody, oh, I didn't do it, it can, be painful enough often to put you off, just procrastinating on it and breaking your word to yourself. So any ways that you can create that accountability will really help you to just get on and do it. Even if it feels really uncomfortable, even if you've told yourself all the stories about you not having time, put it in your schedule and just get it done. It's, really just find a way to make it a non-negotiable, get it done. And reward yourself at the end as well, just to create that positive feedback loop and to show yourself that you really can do it, and it's really not as painful as you thought it was going to be before you did it. And another great question from Anastasia: what did I do to get over the fear of visibility? Is there a best practice to getting past this fear? And for me, I always find as soon as something has come into your awareness, you are in the process of healing it and moving past it. So if you've identified that you're afraid of getting visible, that's amazing. At least you're not still sitting in the excuses as to why you shouldn't be getting visible, and believing that there's really many good reasons why you shouldn't be. So once you've identified, these are the ways that I need to be getting visible to support getting my message out there with impact, whether that's going live, because obviously video is king in the online world today, whether that's writing blog posts, whether that's writing social media posts, whatever platforms it is that you've identified you would like to be more visible, because that's where your ideal tribe or clients are hanging out. Then, obviously acknowledging that and doing that deeper work, either with a coach or a therapist, you can go into those stories and discover why you have a fear of visibility. That can be helpful. It's absolutely not necessary, because honestly, the easiest way to get over the fear of visibility is to just do it. Just really commit, find a safe space to do it. Take a baby step, whether that's, doing it in a community that you're a part of that's small, that feels like a safe space for you, that you can share, I want to practice going live, or whether it's doing something really small on your Instagram and just getting in front of your camera and doing a live, doing a recorded video, or whether you want to do a pre-recorded video and edit it and put it up. Whatever feels like a baby step for you, that feels less intimidating. If you're not posting, if you're not sharing, just ask yourself, what would be what would be a step in the right direction of becoming more visible? And then really finding a way to create accountability around those actions. You know, share that with people, whether that's your partner or your friends. You know, ask somebody, or you've got a business friend that you can share it with. Tell somebody, you know, this is a big deal for me, but I know that I really need to do this. I'm going to commit to doing it. Will you please hold me accountable to doing this week? And taking it and just deciding that you're not going to judge yourself for the outcome. You're going to really acknowledge yourself taking that step, and then continue to take those steps. You know, how often can I commit to doing something that I know I need to be doing? And, you know, do some journaling around it. You know, again, what is the worst that could happen if I get visible? And really going into that fear and recognizing that it's really not as, you know, whatever it is that would happen, we're perfectly capable of having the strength to move beyond that and move towards enjoying the benefits of actually, you know, being visible. So really it's just a case of doing it and doing it consistently. And, you know, that's also a big point that I want you to take away from this, is that we learn by doing. We're never perfect, and we get the most feedback, the most growth, and the most, you know, finesse in what we're doing by doing things consistently. You know, just fumbling your way through is perfectly fine. People can still, we are our worst critics. So you can be guaranteed that people are going to be taking the value from what you have to offer more than they're going to be looking for, oh, she didn't, you know, she stumbled over that sentence, or, you know, there was like a punctuation error in that post. People are looking for what they can gain from your content, from you showing up and sharing. So, you know, just remember that and just keep doing it consistently, and you will over time build confidence. And yeah, just do it. And oh, Erica's left a great comment there too, so you should check that out on procrastination. Oh yeah, the 5-second rule. Amazing. Yeah, just freaking do it, basically. So okay, so what are the things that we can do to you know, to support ourselves in showing up and making our impact as easy and enjoyable as possible? The number one is getting support. You know, no human being is designed to do anything alone. And it's so, so, so important to have support in what you're doing, to have cheerleaders, to have mentors, to be a part of communities of people who get what you're trying to do and are encouraging you every step of the way. And it's really important to not look for support in the wrong places. You know, if you're starting a business or you're starting a creative project and you're trying to explain and get support from your parents, and they just don't understand what it is that you're trying to achieve, they don't understand the world in which you're trying to achieve it, you're probably not going to get that reassurance and support that you're looking for, simply because they don't see from your perspective. So, you know, maybe you might get some annoying questions, maybe you might get some doubts and fears from them because it's just simply something that they're unfamiliar with. So really, you know, being careful with where you're looking for support, making sure that you find those specific communities, people, coaches, mentors, who get what you're trying to achieve, who believe in your mission and vision and believe in you and support you all the way. Because of course there's going to be moments where you're not sure what you're doing, and it's so, so, so important to have that reassurance and that support and that, you know, to keep you committed and to not let you spiral into talking yourself out of doing things. You know, accountability, always. That's why working with many coaches at once has been non-negotiable for me throughout the last couple of years. And, you know, being a part of communities, creating groups of people or business buddies, or, you know, people who are in the same field as you, who you check in with regularly and just provide that support. You know, you share what you're working on, so you've got that feedback and accountability going on. And yeah, being visible, just doing it. Like just getting out there and doing it, deciding that, you know, you've recognized that this is something that's important for your work, and identifying the actions, scheduling them, creating accountability, doing it. If you don't do it, don't be hard on yourself. Just get up and do it the next day. So, and, you know, just remember that especially when you're thinking about creating an online identity, building an audience, building a tribe, the online world is constantly shifting and changing. So we'll never be expected to fully understand what's going on down to the tiniest detail. Every social media platform is changing. The way we do business is changing. Everybody's always adding new ideas into the mix, and everyone's doing things in their own way. So really the way to get good at getting your message out there is simply to just get in there and start doing it. You know, be a part of it, figure it out as you go along. And to really not be intimidated, to not feel like you don't know enough. Because, you know, all of these platforms, or even, you know, getting a website up is actually getting simpler and simpler and simpler to use for the average, like, non-techie person. You know, technology isn't something that I've been a particular whiz at, but I've recognized that everything can be learned. And you know, or you can answer pretty much any question on Google now. If you don't know how to do something in a piece of software, or you're feeling really stuck and frustrated, you don't have to stay that way for very long. Just Google how to do it if you don't have someone that can help you, and you can normally figure out how to do it. And one thing that I've noticed for me, I used to let myself get overwhelmed. I used to procrastinate and really resist doing more technical work in my online business. But once I realized that once you shift to the right mindset, and you really, you know, realize that it can be easy, and it actually isn't going to take as long as it feels like it will in your head, because you're making such a big deal out of it, then you can get on and do these tasks and get over those places where you're stuck actually relatively quite quickly. So often it's always the stories that we're telling ourselves about, it's hard, I can't do it, it takes so much time, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm really uncertain, I don't know if it's even going to work. All of those stories make the work so much harder than it actually is or needs to be. And that's why I'm so excited to be teaching mindset alongside branding strategy, because it will help you make so much progress so much faster. And all you need to do is fit one piece of the puzzle together at a time. Just take one step, you know, just take on one thing to figure out at a time. Play with that, get comfortable with that, understand that, and then you can move on to the next thing. So, you know, the main thing is to really stay committed to your vision and your intention to reach people with your valuable work. Remember that on the other side of all of this technology is just other people who are living lives just like you. So, you know, it really helps to really stay focused on that human connection factor, and, you know, thinking about reaching out to people online as just another way of creating relationships, creating connection, and really, you know, authentically connecting and resonating with other human beings. And if you make a slip up on a platform, or, you know, your website isn't what, you know, this idea of, it didn't turn out like the exact vision that you expected it to, you know, falling into that perfection, that comparison is really only undermining your business success, because you can do so much with really, really simple strategies. And when it comes to creating your online identity, remember that the more authentic you are in the representation of your unique capabilities, skills, personality, who you are, that's going to be the thing that resonates with the people who are most going to benefit from your work and love working with you. So really, it's all about staying tapped into your creativity, and doing your outreach in the way that most inspires you. You know, use the platforms that you are most inspired by, that you love spending time on, that you know your clients or potential clients or audience members also love spending time on. And, you know, just do it in the way that you are inspired by and that you enjoy the most. If you hate doing Instagram stories, don't do them, just do posts. You know, if you don't like writing, do video blogging instead of writing. Just find really working within your strengths and your own personal creativity. If you love creating images, you know, Pinterest, maybe that's the way to go for you, or focus on the visual aspect of Instagram more than the copy section. There's so much flexibility, and you really get to, you know, make your own rules. And there are so many different ways to succeed. Obviously, you know, there are factors that work for everybody, or everybody or most people, that are good to know. And we are going to be going into those. But, you know, from a mindset perspective, if you're enjoying putting yourself out there when you're creating content, that's going to be putting yourself out there in the right way. That's going to be resonating more than if you come at it and you're really forcing yourself to create content, or you're like overthinking your website, whatever it is. If you're coming at it with tension and stress, that's probably going to resonate throughout the creation of that work and the output of that message. So that's why it's so important to, you know, just keep a check, make sure you're not giving into overwhelm, and, you know, doubt and judgment of yourself and your content, and you're really just having fun with it and coming at it from that perspective. And, you know, the best way to master something is really just to spend consistent time playing with it. So give yourself just a little bit of time each day to, you know, really experiment with what ways you really enjoy getting your message out there, and bring that childlike sense of curiosity and playfulness and fun to your work. And that's going to really resonate and bring you so much more success than, you know, getting too bogged down in strategy, taking a bajillion courses, you know, really overthinking things. That's just another way that we self-sabotage, is by thinking, oh, I have to do it perfectly like this person has told me. Really, you know, empowering yourself to trust that you can find the best way to connect with the people that are meant to hear your message. So I hope you found this useful. If you have any other questions at all, please leave them below. And Erica's going to be coming live tomorrow to share some really, really valuable tips on, you know, what are the basics you really need to know to successfully brand your work online and create an authentic online brand identity. You know, just the basics, nothing overwhelming, and to show you that it can actually be really simple. So make sure we'll be coming live every day this week at 11 a.m. EST. And yeah, don't forget, comment on each of the videos and share a post on Instagram and Facebook, tagging both myself and Erica, to be entered into a chance to win our Brand and Thrive Mastermind worth $900, 3 months intensive support to get you up and consistently attracting your tribe in a way that feels really good for you. So I'm excited for the rest of this week, and have an amazing rest of the day. And yeah, thanks for watching.